wondered why some top-rated freelancers or virtual assistants tell you that they quit on their clients? If you like that is not true, that cannot be true, because how are you working remotely and then you are quitting on clients that are paying you good money? Let's talk. Hi my friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time seeing my beautiful face, please don't make it your last by clicking on the subscribe button so that you can become a part of this growing community of virtual assistants and work from home enthusiasts. In this video, we're going to be talking about why virtual assistants or top freelancers quit on their clients and how you can do that as well if you are thinking about doing that. First things first, I need you, especially if you don't have a client, if you've never gotten a client before, I need you to stop feeling like freelancers or virtual assistants that quit on their clients are very ungrateful because they have a client and they're still struggling to have your first client. The clients are actually not doing the virtual assistant a favor. In fact, it is a win-win situation. You're not doing your client a favor, your client is not doing you a favor. Both of you are exchanging value. You're exchanging service as a value. Your client is exchanging money as a value in return for your service. So what does it mean to quit on a client? To quit on a client is just simply deciding that you no longer want to work with them again. Just the way if you're a 9-to-5er, if you work a 9-to-5 job and your job is stressing you out and you decide that you're going to quit, you're going to resign, that's simply what it means to quit on your client. But whenever you want to quit on your client, you have to make sure that you maintain professionalism. And just in case you're wondering why or if I have the right to say this, I am talking about this topic from experience, based on the fact that just last week I quit on a client. Just last week, a virtual assistant of mine quit on me as her client, and one of my students quit on their clients as well. So yeah, I have every right and every authority to talk about this because I know what it feels, both from a business owner angle and also from a virtual assistant angle. Why should virtual assistants or freelancers quit on their clients? Why should you, as a virtual assistant, quit on your client when you feel like it is time to quit on your client? Number one, you no longer feel comfortable working with the client. It's either the pressure is getting so much or their demands are becoming very, very unreasonable. Don't get me wrong, it is one thing to actually be a high performer and it's another thing for your client to be overly demanding. So of course you want to ensure that it is not you running away from being an overperformer. It is not you running away from doing the work. It is actually that the pressure is getting very high and the demands are getting unrealistic. So take for example, your initial agreement was to work 3 hours in a day, every Monday to Friday, and all of a sudden you start to work 6 hours every day, sometimes Monday to Saturday, sometimes Monday to even Sunday. That is a no-no. You can accept doing that from when you begin working with them and just give them a grace period. But if you see that it is becoming a habit, if you see that it is continuing, that is your first cue. Secondly, when you have clients that are very disrespectful, like I said, your clients are not doing you a favor. You're not doing them a favor. Working with a virtual assistant, you working with a client, is a win-win situation for you and your client. It means that you're winning and they are winning and nobody is doing each other a favor. And this means that they should never disrespect you. In fact, one of my students that quit on their client this week, she reached out to me to ask me if it was fine to quit on the client. And when I asked her why, she said that they used demeaning words. And when she had started, the terms they had agreed on was different from what they started to require of her. And personally, I probably wouldn't have bothered so much about the requirements part because it is something that can be talked about. So what would have been needed is maybe negotiate and just bring to their notice in case they forget. But getting to the point of using demeaning words, nah. That's something you should never take, because hello, the reason why you're working as a remote worker, the reason why you're working as a virtual assistant, even if it is also part of your strategy to increase your means of income, your stream of income. It is also for your peace of mind and your mental health. And you cannot afford to work with clients that will be a threat to that. Thirdly, when you begin to feel stifled, like you have your own ideas, definitely the business owner you're working with is the owner of the business, is the owner of the vision, but they are hiring you as a professional, and that means that they are meant to trust your expertise. But if they are not allowing you to show your expertise at all, and when you keep doing what they want, results are not showing and they are blaming you for the results, that is another cue for you to leave your client. I understand that most business owners actually have issues with delegating. But it is one thing to have issues with delegating. It's another thing to make your virtual assistant do what you want and blame them for the bad results that what you want is causing to your business. It doesn't just make sense. And as a virtual assistant, once you stay in that environment for a really long time, it begins to affect your self-esteem and it also begins to affect your productivity as a professional. And that's something that you don't want to do, because if you are working with more than a client, let's say you're working with 2 3 clients and you're having this issue with one of your clients, it means that whatever productivity you have for the other 2 clients is going to be affected, because you keep doubting yourself, and when it's time to work for the other clients, you keep wondering if you are going to be giving them good results or not. And that's something that you don't want to do. Another reason is if you are consistently having issues with the client. This is a very, very sensitive situation actually, because it is possible that you can certainly recover from the issue that you're consistently having with the client, especially if it is your fault. But the problem with that is the fact that if you've consistently have issues with your client, you stand a chance to lose their trust. And most of the time, we all know when trust is broken, it is very difficult to fix. And because of that, you may end up working on eggshells, you may end up tiptoeing around your clients, and that's really not good for your mental health. If you actually feel like you can recover the trust that your clients have for you, please stay and try to fix whatever issue it seems that you have that is causing the problem with your client. But if you feel like it keeps happening and happening just to save your reputation and also save your relationship with that client, I suggest that that is actually your cue to leave. The last reason I'll give is if you think that the services they're asking for is something that you cannot handle. You want to be very sincere. One thing I always remind my students is your clients are actual human beings and actual business owners. It means that they are running their business on money and reputation. So if you are sure, you sincerely know that the services that they are requiring or the things they are requiring of you is not something that you can offer, it's not something that you can do, it is best for you to actually walk out than for you to keep insisting you can do it, thereby failing them every time. That is not good. That is not good for your reputation. That is not good for your self-esteem, and with that way you will never grow. And of course, that is also not good for clients, because it means that you will be keeping them away from another virtual assistant or another professional that would have done the work better for them. So please, if this is you or if this situation actually fits you, please, it is best for you to leave. Okay, so now that we've talked about reasons why virtual assistants quit on their clients or reasons why you should quit on your client, let's talk about how to quit on your client so that it is not messy. Remember, you don't want to burn bridges. It is so important for you to not burn bridges. So that means that even if you want to quit on them for any of the reasons, whether the ugly reasons or the amicable reasons, it is best for you to quit on a professional level so that you don't burn bridges. So how do we quit on our clients without burning bridges? Number one, you want to always refer to your contract. Every time you write a contract or every time you sign a contract to your client, you want to ensure that there is always that part in your contract. The part where it talks about the notice that you need to give before you quit on the client. One thing you never want to do is just send in the resignation letter and stop working with them immediately or disappearing on them. That is not good at all. Because imagine if you were a business owner and the person you're working with, the person you trust, disappears on you. That is in fact, that is bad. That is very, very bad. So you never want to do that. So refer to your contract. In your contract, there should always be a notice period, either 1 week, 2 weeks, or even 1 month, right? So refer to your contract and send an email based on the notice period in your contract. Before you move on to trying to quit on your client, one thing you should do when you notice all of those issues that I've mentioned earlier is to have a conversation with them about that. So reach out to them, set up a meeting, and communicate whatever it is that you're feeling. If you are feeling like they are using the million words, if you feel like they are demanding more than they should based on your contract, if you feel like there is no room for opportunity to grow anymore, if you feel like you are being stifled and they are not trusting your expertise, sit with them and have a conversation with them to try to understand. One thing that I always advise my students is you have a different personality from your clients. How they understand things is very different from how you understand things. How they handle situation is very different from how you handle situation. And you want to ensure that you try to meet in the middle. So it is after having the conversation with them and it doesn't seem like they are going to be changing or it's going to be working before you can move on to quitting. So once you have a conversation with them and their response is not positive or they agree to work on things and things are never worked on, yeah, that is your cue. That is your main cue to actually leave. So now let's talk about how to leave after you've had the conversation with them and nothing is changing. First thing is to send an email based on the notice period in your contract. I always advise my virtual assistants to ensure that there is a notice period in their contract because that is one way to ensure that even if you are leaving, you are not burning bridges. As a professional that wants to be in business for a long time, it is so important for you to not burn bridges with your clients, even if you don't want to ever work with them again. All right. Secondly, you want to ensure that you finish up all of the responsibilities in your hand. You don't want to just up and leave without getting things done, without doing the things, all of the things that you were meant to do for your client. And then thirdly, you want to ensure that you are available to help them transition responsibilities to the next person if they are going to be finding the next person before you leave. One thing that is very important is for you to not burn bridges with your clients because you're a professional. There's a high chance that somebody that may want to work with you can come from them. There's a high chance that somebody that works with you or somebody that wants to work with you knows them and they're going to end up giving them a bad review about you. Alright, my friend, I hope you had a great time watching the video. Please, this is not me advising you to leave your clients. This is not me advising you to walk away from your sources of income. You want to ensure that you have other income that can cover up for this client that you are going to be quitting on before you quit. It is very wise of you to ensure that you have something at hand before you throw away what you have been working with for a while. Okay. All right, if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and also if you've gotten to this point, type the end in the comment section to let me know that you watched this video to the end, just so that I can keep creating a lot of content like this that will help you. Because for me, it is not just about teaching you how to become a virtual assistant, it is also about teaching you the business of virtual assistants, and that means both attracting clients and working with the right clients for you. All right, I will see you in my next video. Bye.